Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video, where today I'm going over the New York Open from last week. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of today's video and tournament report. Remember, I've got Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a affiliate link at MN Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support as well. But yeah, I'm talking about my time at the New York Open last year, which was the last place in the world to get a golden ticket for the Warhammer World of Champions, you know, that tournament, which is this week as of the time of recording. So instead of what I normally do is recording a vlog, this time, because I actually went there for a week, because originally I was going to New York as a holiday, still was a holiday, and the New York Open was more like, hopefully I would have had a ticket by then. I was planning to like stream and record it, that kind of stuff, and then didn't win a ticket. But because I was there for so long, I kind of knew I wouldn't have had time on the weekend to record because of my schedule, and I was flying out the Sunday night. So that's why it's more of a traditional tournament report instead of a vlog. But for kill teams, originally I was thinking about taking Halfkin Salvager, but then I decided, no, I actually would prefer to take Legionary. So I built up my Alpha Legionary, so you can see them now. So they are a project I started a while ago, and it's basically using my Horus Heresy Alpha Legion scheme and just transferring it into Kill Team, using the Forge World Alpha Legion models to represent, you know, the models for the Legionary Kill Team. And I had a few practice games. Originally I was going Tzeentch and Slaanesh, but then after a few practice games, mainly into Commandos, I realized unless you were playing Into the Dark, playing Nurgle Slaanesh was just the better option. And, you know, I even had a lot of help from Shane from Command Point. He gave me a lot of tips and tactics. So it was really helpful. Played in a 4-round Manchester tournament the weekend before and managed to come fourth with 3-1, only a narrow loss. And then I had 8 games altogether going into the New York Open. So that was kind of why, because the issue is Commandos are dumb, right? And the main counters are Galapox and Nurgle Legionary. But Galapox is very board dependent, and I didn't want to gamble in going into a bad board and then losing, right? And then it was odd. When I saw how many people had registered, I was like, wow, there were 7 Commando players and 8 Legionary. So like over half of the event it was like 40 something players, and most of them were elites. And I was like, I really should have brought my Halfkin, but it was fine. I think if I brought my Galapox, probably would have lost to the elite matchup. But after all of that, let's get into the games. So round 1, I was playing Loot against Intercession, and my opponent, she was running White Scars, but with Durable and Rapid. So this was actually a really weird game at first, because I went full Nurgle, and effectively what I did is I managed to go 3-2 or 4-2, I think, on primaries, turning point 1. And then turning point 2, I went, I think, 3-2. And then I just kind of got ahead on the primaries. My only tac ops, I think I got Rob and Ransack, I maxed. 1 from Route, and then I think it was just actually 1 from Eliminate Guard, not Route. So, no, it was the other way around. Because she played very good at staying off the points after I revealed Eliminate Guard, and she did as well. So I stayed off her points as well. But the issue is I won on the primary and it was super close, but I think I won something like 12-8, but it was actually mainly just going ahead on the primaries on Loot, because I got the top left room, she got the top right room, I managed to get the mid corridor, and then the mid room just went back and forth between us. And then when I won initiative on turning point 3, my leader just blazed through and killed 2 Intercession and stole that point. So I kind of just like blazed through there. So it was mainly just a weird game of elites on Loot. So round 2, I was into Hierotech Circle. So this time, after playing them previously, I expected all Tesla. So I switched from going pure Nurgle into half Nurgle, half Slaanesh. So I had a Slaanesh Butcher, Slaanesh Shrive Talon, and a Slaanesh Anointed. Slaanesh Sorcerer, sorry. Everyone else was Nurgle. And then we were playing Secure. So he went with actually the Psychomancer. And then I managed to get, because he opened the door too early, I managed to get a move and dash plasma overcharge shot into his Despotech and knocking it down to 2 wounds, right? And with the Butcher, so the Butcher's trick is if he's standing behind an open door, you can't shoot him because you can't end within 2 inches of him unless you're indirect. So he had the Grizzly Trophy. So what happened was, no, he had the Blade in that matchup. So I used my Sorcerer to move, open the door and get the point. And then my Butcher moved and dashed and opened that door and secured that. And then turning point 2, I won initiative. My Shrive Talon charged into his Despotech and Cryptek with double fight. Immediately killed the Despotech, so he didn't pop res. Then I rolled 4 crits and he rolled 1 hit with my 1 hit. So I parried him and then did like 15 damage to the Cryptek. Killed him and kind of swung the game because then my Butcher charged in, killed the Immortal down in the bottom. I pushed up on the mid zone. So effectively turning point 2, I killed one of the little scarab thingies and pushed through too heavily. And by that time, I think I managed to go 4-2 every turn after that. And then I maxed my attack ops. I managed to get Rout, Eliminate Guard, and Rob and Ransack. And it was just kind of that weird thing where I found when you're playing into Necrons, you actually don't want to kill them. You want to actually knock them down to like 2 wounds. So when you do push that turn, if you can double fight or double shoot, it makes killing like the Despotech and the Cryptek way more impactful because they basically have to go, one of them is going to die. So you now need to pick, well, one of them is going to, they're both going to die. So now you have to pick which ones to save. So it causes a lot of dilemma, but it paid off practicing for this matchup. Then this is an interesting game, right? So I was paired into Commandos, right? And for this matchup, I just went full Nurgle, right? There was no reason not to into Commandos. So I was actually quite nervous. So normally, I was like, oh, this is the big matchup I've been prepping for. It's one of the 7 Commando players at the event. Oddly, 4 of them had knocked each other out round 1. So, because when I get nervous, right, I think people forget, like when they play me, they think I'm like some stoic, cold individual at times. But I got very nervous. So I'd already made some clumsy things. So like when I get nervous, I make clumsy errors. So I accidentally spilled my drink, which was a bit of an issue because it kind of touched his case in my case. So I spent some time cleaning that up. Accidentally shot like my line laser the wrong way out, so I accidentally lasered him. But we prefaced the game, so it's interesting. Like, I think what's important about this game is more of a learning tool. So my friend says I don't need to talk about this, but I think it's better reflection for me and everyone else. So my opponent prefaced the game. I was like, do you know my kill team? Because usually I explain everything and I find out I spend like 10 minutes explaining my kill team. He's like, no, I know what everything does. You know, it's quite clear. I was like, you know the rules for into that? Yeah, I know all the rules for into the dark inside and out. Right, so we were also playing on one of Dakota's asymmetrical into the dark layouts. So it was new for us both. Because you can see not a lot of the doors are in the same place. So at the end of turning point 1, he had his sniper boy in the midboard behind the door engaged on guard and left the comms near him. And he was asking what my sorcerer's psychic powers did, and he kept calling it the flamethrower. And I was like, no, it's a fireball. It's like a fire blast. And I was like, it has blast and splash. It's like, cool. So I won initiative, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to move and dash, flame your sniper boy, which will hit into your comms. So I think I rolled 3 crits and a hit, which brought him down to like 3 wounds. He just a scratch to stay alive. And then I did the same into his comms boy and then just killed them both with the splash because I rolled 3 more crits because of the lethal 5 up because it was into the dark. And then the game got very interesting, shall we say, because my opponent basically went on tilt. So to be fair, because I was quite stressed and tired, I did forget to, I think the only thing I actually forgot to clearly say was that my Shrive Talon strikes first. So he then immediately charged into my Shrive Talon, but before he rolled dice, I said, you're -1 dice because he's got the Grizzly Trophy. But I did forget to say, that he strikes first in combat. He's like, okay. I was like, you can take that back. And then effectively, because I wasn't super clear, my opponent didn't realize that blast and splash has lethal 5 up and into the dark. So it kind of escalated from there. So it was also like, so it was kind of it was partly my fault for not being super clear, right? Because my opponent got quite upset. And to be fair, it wasn't helped by my clumsy accidents just before we started playing. So in my, what do you call it, experience, I thought, it's getting pretty heated on this table. I should call a TO, but then he was out with the pre-game New York Open social we had, and then he realized I'm friends with the TOs, so it's going to kind of look like, oh, I'm calling the TOs, even though nothing's happened, that I'm calling my mates on him. So, oh, I won't do that. And then the TOs noticed what was going on and came over and was just kind of, they managed to de-escalate things, turn into not a fun game, but it was kind of like, I think my opponent just didn't realize certain rules about Legionary, as well as Into the Dark, with like how lethal 5-up works with blasts, and how like grenade range is reduced and all that kind of stuff. But which is, to be fair, I should have, when he said he knows what Into the Dark is, I should have been close, like, so you are aware, like lethal 5 is like, yeah. And I should have just fully explained everything. I thought I did, but I guess I clearly forgot. But what I learned from that game was what the TOs told me were like, actually, when you see your opponent getting quite frustrated, it's good to just call the TO in anyway, because then they can de-escalate things before things get heated. Because the issue was, by the time they came, stuff had gotten way too spicy. So while I was like, trying to be chill and trying to calm my opponent down, my opponent was like already full tilt and was feeling like I was cheating them, which is, if you talk an impartial view, could be fairly argued. So it did take a lot of TOs going like, because they assumed what was happening was he was making errors and then I wasn't letting him take them back. But he was making errors and I was letting him take them back. But he was just clearly frustrated with the whole situation. So in the end, I did end up winning. I think it was like 1913. But obviously, it wasn't the best of games. So the reason I'm talking about it, because it helps being clear. And I think it's good, even when your opponent says, oh, you know everything. It's just like, oh, they know all the rules. It's just helped to clarify that. So when they go, so like this battlefield, like if you're on Into the Dark, blast is lethal 5-up. If you're playing on stuff like Nakman, you know how the smokestacks work exactly, or the doors work on Octarius, that kind of stuff. Because I was telling him one of his plans was like to move and dash, move behind a door and then go on guard with shooting, but within 2 inches. So he was just within 2 inches of the door. And then I was saying, because where he was, I could move, open the door under conceal and hatchway fire and not trigger his guard. And then because he'd never seen that interaction before, it took him a while. And then he did like say, thanks for explaining that. But I was like, if you know Into the Dark, I thought you would have been aware of that. But because you said you weren't, this is what I can do with a free APL model. And I think it's just good as a learning experience as a whole. Because I think what my takeaway from this, if my opponents gets tilted, I thought I shouldn't have called a TO, but then the TO team were like, actually, that's what we're here for. So if you see your opponent getting frustrated or like, something's not going great, just calling the T over to help talk and de-escalate things. Because they did talk to him a lot and they said like, is he actively cheating, trying to like, punish you with no takebacks? And like, no. It's just he didn't fully explain everything. And he's like, has he let you redesign? Because like, yeah. So they told me just like beforehand, fully explain things, even if your opponent says yes. But they said also if your opponent gets frustrated, just call them over so they can de-escalate things. Because that was the good advice I got from that game. So that's why I'm going about it so in depth. Guess like partly because, I am a more I'm a more notable person in the community. So when I make an error, it's kind of bigger than normal because obviously I could have twisted things and stuff. And, if you want to say like, maybe I'm twisting things, that's fine. Because once again, this is my opinion. Like this is my reflection of it, not my opponent's. But the reason I'm talking about in this way is so if you ever ran into an experience like this, always clarify the understanding of your opponent. And if things get a bit heated, you can call over a TO, not to like enforce things, but to help break the tension. Because a good TO will be able to de-escalate stuff and calm down things early before they develop further, which is what basically they were able to do, even though things escalated quite quickly there. But overall, Nurgle did their thing, because it was basically like, even when he got a dynamite off on my leader, because of my leader's Nurgle ability, he managed to absorb the crit damage and live on like 3 wounds with 2 saves. I also ignored the left room, and I focused on my objective on the mid left, my bottom right objective, and then turning point 2. I got the other objective on the other side, and I got the objective in the central room, and then I just kept pushing. And then once I got my breakthrough, I just basically ignored the left room until someone came out, and then the rotor cannon just moved and shot them. Because normally in that matchup, I actually take the icon over the heavy gunner, because I always go the rotor with the heavy gunner. But this time, this loadout actually works really well for me. Then after day 1, so top it was Adrian with Commandos, Alden with his Halfkin Salvages, right? There was me with Legionary, Jaspoon from Australia, but he's in Canada with his Phobos. Then George with his Legionary, Austin with his Kazakin, and then Matt with Talons of the Emperor. So then when it came to day 2, I was not top, but I was playing, this was a recorded game, so I'll probably be able to show on the channel when I get the data. So I was playing into Jaspoon and his Phobos. So this time I went 4 Nurgle, 2 Slanesh. So I went with a Slanesh Sorcerer and a Slanesh Shrive Talon. So what happened was I got the 2 closest objectives near me. I got the objective on the far right, on the bottom right, and the objective closest to me. And then I ended, he put the mine layer on the closest objective to me on the midline with his mine layer, and my plasma pistol killed him. He actually got a clean shot on my icon, and with a crack grenade left him on 1 wound on that objective. And then I had my Shrive Talon at the top of the top left objective, and my Psycho anointed in the midfield. So then he wins initiative. My leader was also just next to the bottom right objective. He caps the point, because we were playing secure, shoots my icon on 1 wound and kills him, and then charges my leader and passes. So then top left, I activate my anointed, who charges through the door, kills his saboteur and scores me rout and eliminate guard, right? And then he activates somewhere else, and then my Shrive Talon gives minus my Psyker charged through the door, capped the point he was on because he hadn't popped his because he hadn't activated his Reaver yet, capped the point because I had 2 people on it, and then didn't fight, but then gave his Reaver -1 APL, so it's 2 APL. And then when he just fell back, I activated my plan. So my leader punched his Reaver to death with a crit and a hit, then did a free move onto the objective with the pipe, capped the point, did the free move with the kill, overcharged because I was now within 2 inches of a leader, killed his leader, and then capped the point. So at the end of turning point 2, I had 4 objectives to his 2, and I'd killed 3 Phobos, so he only had 2 left. And then he won initiative, his marksman killed my leader, and then I basically killed him off the board and managed to go another 4-2, 4-2. Because the only problem here was, I think Jaspoon just overextended, because the correct play, he didn't prop Vanguard, turning point 2. So he could have killed my guy in the point, capped the point for free, shot my leader, and then moved to block the door. Because then that would have stopped my leader moving around the objective just behind him on the midline, because I had a Haywire Mine. But otherwise, Slanesh helped me win that matchup. Just because my plan into Phobos is turning point 2. They're usually on 5 command points, and they're popping Bolter Drill, Double Shoot, and Piercing. So they go down to 2 CP. So if they don't pop Transhuman Physiology, they are now susceptible to Slanesh -1. And it gives me more threat range to charge and counts out their chargy stuff. And if they want to do that, they go down to 1 CP, and if I kill their leader, they're only on 2 CP next turn. That was my plan into Phobos, and the Slanesh pieces really let me move up and punish them quickly, especially when they hadn't activated their Reavers yet, so their Psycho Field, whatever, wasn't activated. But really happy with how that game paid off. Once again, the Aspiring Champion is just so good with his free action on kill. So good. So next I was playing Alden and his Halfkin. So this was a really going to be quite interesting. So we were playing loot, and effectively it was super close. I think it could have gone either way. And then I realized the problem was I was too aggressive. So effectively, turning point 1, I capped 3 of the 3 points where he only capped 2. And then I ended my leader by the door. So then he won initiative, moved his lugger outside of the room. And then I charged my leader into his kinlink. Cognitar killed him, plasma pistol his rocket, knocked him down to one wound. And then basically my leader was deleted. Then my psycho moved and dashed, hit his medic, and killed the guy he was shooting at. So killed the one operative, splashed, killed the gunner, and then wounded the medic. But it was really back and forth, and I made a minor positional error with my butcher in the left room. But my butcher was the MVP because he couldn't be shot. So the breachers just ran. So the Halfkin just ran away from him. But I think I could have ended it a draw because basically turning point 2, I capped the point, moved to open the door, but not stay. I could have stayed within an inch of the door and on the objective, but because I moved too close to the door, turning point 3, I had a choice of either opening the door and moving into the other room, or yeah, basically. So what I should have done is cap the point, move, and then open the door to allow my butcher through. And because of that, it cost me losing by 1 point. But the game was so close because it was so much back and forth. It could have gone either way. Like we almost ended up on a draw, and like his leader shot into my 3 wound anointed, missed, charged him, only got a single crit, and then I fluffed all my feel no pain rolls. Because if my anointed had killed, if he'd survived, he would have killed his leader and then like charged and then blocked up everything. So it was super close and really fun. I was actually the one matchup I didn't want to play was Hearthkin, because the thing about in Legionary, they actually struggle outside of the leader to make 2-for-1 trades. Like the anointed can do it if he gets a charge, but it's really hard for this kill team. And the problem is you don't want to be killing one operative at a time with the Legionary. You want to be able to kill at least 2 when Hearthkin. So when I could only kill 1 at a time, he was just punishing me back with his gunners and the rest of his kill team. But super close, really fun, and I think it was 13-12 altogether, so super fun game. But sadly, I did lose. And then finally I was playing against Storm and his Legionary on Into the Dark again. I think I played 5 games of Into the Dark. So this was an interesting one. I remembered the words of Shane. Everyone takes like damn headhunter into my Legionary and maxes it. So I had it because he basically went, everyone on the left was Slanesh, everyone on the left was Zinch, everyone on the right was Slanesh. So I was like, okay, my leader's just going to stay back. He may assassinate target my heavy gunner, and then effectively we were tied on the primary 2-2 because we were playing secure, and then we were playing capture, and then he moved onto the objective with his leader and went on guard, and I was like, okay, he's hitting on freeze. I'm going to be behind the door. I should be fine. So my no-go gunner with the melter gun opens the door. He gets 1 hit and 3 misses, spends all his CP to reroll them and kills me. And I was like, I should have just waited. And he was like, you should have just waited. But then I won initiative, sent my anointed in, who double charged and used a double fight to kill his leader, which nullified his free CP and then gave me rout and eliminate guard. And then because I got that, no one went into the left mid room because that was the death room. And then I managed narrow to go ahead. My Psycho made a bit of an error where he fire blasted the Shrive Talon and the Anointed, killing the Shrive Talon, knocking the Anointed down to 2 wounds. And then I should have just stayed in the room, but I charged in and gave him Rob and Ransack. But then I won initiative, and then my Shrive Talon ran in, got a single crit, and did 2 damage exactly to stop his maxing Rob and Ransack while I did. And it was super close. Once again, it could have gone back and forth either way, but I think what paid off was being super cagey with my leader. So when he finally did kill my leader, he only got 1 point. So I managed to get rout 2 points, eliminate guard 1 point, Rob and Ransack 2, and then tied on the primary. And because he was 2 behind, I think it ended 15-13 to me. Super close, but really fun. There was a lot of clutch things that happened where his sorcerer his sorcerer didn't empower, charged into my guy, rolled no crits because he was only 4 dice, and then I parried him. I killed him in 2 crits because I was the Slanesh Shrive Talon, and that's how I got my Rob and Ransack. So super clutch either way, but a really fun way to end the tournament. So end of the event, I managed to finish third overall, as you can see above, because Adrian managed to win against Alden. Alden was won because came second because the tiebreakers were TAC Ops completed, and then I came third. We had Jaspion in fourth, which was the exact mirror of day one. Matt with his Talons of the Emperor in fifth. Austin in sixth with his Katakin, and then Will with his Legionary, and Joey in eighth with his Void Dancer troop. So super close tournament, but really, really fun. So, like the tournament format, 6 rounds, 2-hour tournament, 2-hour games with that minimum half-hour break and an hour for lunch. It was really well spaced out. The fun thing I liked, I'll put the player pack in the event description, but they had an interesting chess clock rule where everyone had half an hour on the chess clock after the round finished. But the thing is, once you used your time, it was gone. And if someone had time on their clock versus you in the next round, they would basically just play while you did nothing. And that basically stopped pretty much all time issues from what I can see, because you could earn 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes if you complete a game on time or like early. But basically after round one, hardly anyone overplayed. And it was super good, and they were like going around making sure if people played into the time the prior game, they would tell them in the next round with their opponent that they need to play faster. So it was really well done. Super fun. There were some BCP issues, but BCP itself is full of issues anyway. But overall, super fun event. There were a lot of prizes. I won the Horus Heresy box, which I could not physically fit, so I gave it away. But there were so many prizes. There was so much, like their painting was really cool. There was a lot of cool stuff from the painting, and the tables were really great. So like even on day 2, what they did was they had their own layouts and the Into the Dark layouts, but they even changed, like they changed the boards on day 2. And they changed the layouts for Into the Dark by adding like random scatter stuff. So, because what I'm really enjoying is playing tournaments where they're just using maps you can't see in advance. Because I've played a lot of map packs and I'm just getting tired of playing the same maps over and over again. So it was really fun seeing really interestingly designed and fun maps that no one could prepare for. It was just so much fun, especially when they did it for Into the Dark. I was like, this is great. So it was really fun there. So what happened to the golden ticket, you may ask? So Adrian won the event, but he has won like 3 golden ticket events. So I went down to Alden. Alden said he could go. And then I found out the Monday when I landed in London, like the Monday night. I think on Alden unfortunately couldn't make it because of schedules. So they asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, yes, I have everything pre-booked anyway, because I'm going to be at the World Finals in some capacity regardless. So I got the ticket, and originally I was going to run Legionary, right? But I thought, you know what? I'm going to the World Championships for fun, right? Even though I've prepped with Legionary, I was playing a lot of Halfkin before, and, you know, Alden's willing to help and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'll honor the New York scene and Alden, who couldn't go, by running Halfkin as well. Because I was like, you know, I'm sure there'll be some other Halfkin, but it'll be like interesting to show what the New York Halfkin can get up to, because he was crazy. Like his game plans, after he explained it to me, was so cool. I was like, you are the true ancestor. So I was like, cool, yeah, I'll go as Halfkin, because if you're aware, I'm going as Halfkin. And that's the reason why. It's not like some kind of secret meta pick or that I've been practicing Halfkin for a long time. I've played a lot of Halfkin, but it's mainly just to honor the New York scene and Alden who can go, because like if he could have gone, Alden probably he would do better than me anyway, but it's like his Halfkin are probably the best I've ever seen. So that was my little thing for New York. So, because I know some people got it the wrong way when I said like I need to talk about my golden ticket and how I got it. So, but overall the event was great, had lots of fun, super fun. I think I'll definitely go next year as long as I can make it work. New York was super fun. They had like 5 TOs. They had a narrative tournament going on at the same time, as well as a Necromunda and Battletech. So there were so many events there. It was really cool playing in central New York. My hotel was unintentionally 10 minutes away via the tube. So cool. And like New York food is amazing. I'm falling in love with New York, and it's like this event didn't help because it's gonna make me stay. But everyone was really cool, especially like, you know, all the gaming groups there, all the players there, met so many cool people. everyone was really cool. Like, well, I really love going to America, but I don't get when my friends are like, yo, you're popular here. I was like, oh, it's just I had people like, you know, the standard shaking my hand. Some people took photos. This is the first time I signed stuff, so people got me to sign their rule book, and I think I signed someone's case. That was really cool. I've never done that before. America is so fun. So we even had like the French there. So Remy was there. I think he got 9th overall. Like he did really well as well. And it was great seeing such an international, like, you know, me and, you know, Remy there, as well as like so many people from America. Like I think it got like 46 something in the end. And it was just great to see. So this is the second year of the New York Open. So hopefully they get to do a third. I think that's the plan. And if you do plan to go, it's a great fun event. Because even ignoring all the golden ticket stuff, it was just really well run, nicely spaced out, and a really well ran event. Because you had 5 TOs for Kill Team. It was so good. I was just like, there's like no issues. Everything's like running on time. It's great. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this tournament report. How do you like it, and what do you think of the New York Open? And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a Filling K Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my adepts of the crew, I have Tom, Sam, Nick, Mr. Meatwad, Kenzie, John Thomas, Dad of Goldens, and Ben. And then for my veterans of the kit, I have Samja. So thank you so much. But yeah, it's great. That was so much fun. And now I'm going to be at the World Championships of Warhammer. But it was really cool over the weekend. I had a lot of friends messaging me like, good luck, cheering me on, at the London scene, cheering me on. It was really cool. I was like, oh, guys, so nice. You want me to like get a ticket? It's so cool. But the event was great. Like, even on the Friday pre-social, everyone was super chill. There was basically no drama. Everyone was really relaxed. And it was just a great time. And I think that's the repeated thing I'd like to highlight about American events, especially those I've played on the East Coast, but even like on the West Coast, like everywhere's been good. So if you can travel to events, especially if you can travel to American events, I think you'll have a good time. It's like just so much fun playing in America, especially when you can play in the hustle bustle of New York and get like stuff from the stuffed croissants from Lafayette. But that's pretty much it from me today. I remember, no matter how many grudges you have, there's always a chance to win as long as you can roll a crit.